Let me teach you this secret about the way that native English speakers speak in their everyday English. The most popular words that we use while speaking English in informal and our regular conversations are not found in a dictionary. That's because these words are filler words. Now, all languages have filler words, but we don't usually teach about filler words in English classes. So today I'm going to teach you why native English speakers use words like, literally, actually, all throughout our vocabulary. By learning these English words, it will help you understand native English speakers when we speak quickly, and it will also help you sound more native in your own English when you want to add a filler word here and there in your conversations. Let's get started. I'm going to teach you the most common words in English. Let's talk about why English speakers use the words literally and actually. These two words are mainly used to emphasize something that we're saying. But if you take these words out of our language completely, they don't technically change the meaning of what we're saying. Now, the funny thing about the word literally is it means that something is happening, literally. But we use it to say that something is not literal. Let me give you an example. Maybe you tell me it's snowing outside. I look outside, I see snow. I will say, I literally can't believe that. This means that the snow is very shocking to me, but I see snow outside, so I can believe it. Usually when you see something, you believe it's happening, but by saying, I literally can't believe that, it means that it's just very shocking to you. So we could take that word literally out, but it's just a common filler word in the English language that we use to add emphasis.
Literally, it's okay. She's right there.
There is no food and I'm literally starving. Literally.
We could use actually in the exact same way here. You might say, it's snowing out today. I could say, I actually can't believe that. It means that it's just very shocking. So we're adding emphasis.
That's actually correct.
Yes.
I'm actually just really tired.
You might say, I've eaten so much food, I literally can't eat anymore. This just means you're very full. Your appetite is gone because you've eaten so much food. You could say, I actually can't eat anymore. So even though you probably could take one or two more bites, you're just emphasizing that you ate a lot of food. So literally and actually are so common in the English language to use for emphasis while you're speaking. In every language across the world, there are those casual conversation filler words. They're the words and sounds that are completely unnecessary, and actually when you're in a formal conversation, you really should try to avoid them. In English, like, you know, so, and are our main casual conversation filler words. You will hear girls, especially girls in the English language, I don't really know why this is, say like a lot of times. That being said, I've heard guys that say like so many times as well. It's especially awkward if someone is giving a presentation and you can tell they're very nervous. They will say like a lot of times.
Like.
Oh, it's like that.
For me, I am so guilty of saying the word so to start my sentences when I don't really know what I'm gonna say, or if I feel a little bit nervous. I will say so. And the reason I know this is because I make YouTube videos and podcasts, and I record my voice so much that I have just learned to try to cut out saying so much in my conversations, mainly at the beginning of my sentences, because so can be necessary to use in your English speaking, but at the beginning of a sentence, it is totally unnecessary and just a filler word.
Okay.
So let me start by saying, boo-hoo, no nomination.
So I'm gonna go.
Okay, so I'm gonna get going. So tell me.
And I often hear English speakers at the end of their sentences say, you know, to just kind of, I don't know, it's just they feel nervous and, you know, They say you know to just add some agreeance. They want you to be like, yeah, I know, but it's not necessary at all. You can just say something without saying you know at the end of the sentence.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know.
So these words are the worst filler words in the English language. They're completely unnecessary, and in formal contexts, we try to avoid saying them. The next two filler words are used mainly when someone is just being very tentative in the way that they speak, so they're not sounding confident and they don't want to say something for sure. They might start their sentence with all right or I guess. Again, these are just filler words. We don't have to say these in English, but they just become a habit for English speakers to start their sentence with when they don't feel confident in what they say. So if you feel kind of nervous, you might say, I guess I'm going on a date tonight. This is the same exact thing as saying I'm going on a date tonight, but adding I guess just makes you sound like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going on a date, I guess.
It could have happened that way, I guess.
Yeah, that's the way it works, I guess.
Yeah, I guess connected in that way.
If you feel nervous about asking for something, you might say, all right, do you want to go on a date with me? Adding all right just makes it just sound not confident. That's the only way to describe these two filler words, I guess and all right. They're not usually necessary in your sentence. They're just used to show that you don't feel secure in what you're saying.
All right. So.
Okay. All right. So, who's with me?
Sometimes filler words can be useful to show that you are engaged in a conversation. For instance, English speakers who are in a conversation with someone, just to agree and show that they're listening, they might respond with, right, yeah, right. This just shows you're listening, you're agreeing, and you're engaged in the conversation. These filler words are actually just seen as something polite to respond with, even though you're not talking a lot in the conversation and you're mainly just listening. English speakers most commonly use basically and just to simplify something that they're going to say, or say that something is not a big deal. But these two words, again, they're just filler words. They are not always necessary in the sentence. And for English learners, it can be kind of confusing why English speakers say these words so often. So let me give you a few examples of why these words are so useful in native English conversations. When someone asks you a question and you just want to give a simple answer, you might start with basically. So someone might ask you, how did you get that number in this math problem? And you don't want to explain the whole process. You might think, I don't need to tell them all the things that I did. You might just say, basically, you just add up all the numbers. So you're trying to say it's a simple process by adding the word basically. But it means the same as saying you can just add up all the numbers or just add up all the numbers. Or maybe you tried to fix something, like your internet wasn't working, and you tried all these different things. You could say, I tried to fix the internet yesterday and I did all these things. Basically, the cable was just loose on the router. This means it was a simple problem, even though you did all of these things. So you use that word basically to show that it was simple.
Basically just going to school.
Basically, what I'm trying to...
So basically, Mr. Hahn, what I'm trying to say is...
Basically.
Just is pretty similar. I often use the word just to let the listener of my conversation know that something is not a huge inconvenience or it's just very minor. Maybe you are headed to a work meeting and you want to tell someone that you're going to do something that's not going to take very long. You could say, I'm just going to grab a cup of coffee before I go to the meeting. This means I'm going to do it quickly. Adding that word just implies that it's going to be quick, even though most people would probably understand that getting a cup of coffee doesn't take very long. Or if you're at the dinner table, you could say, could you pass me that salt? It's just out of my reach. That phrase, just out of my reach, means I can almost get it, but it's a little bit too far. So adding that word just shows a small amount. Or you could say, I just started my job, but I already love it. So even though you haven't been working at your job for very long, a short amount of time, you already like it. Or if you want to tell someone that something isn't expensive, you can say it's not expensive, it's just $5, implying that $5 is a small amount of money.
I'm just gonna go.
Just $100?
Just a little bit.
So, like, yeah, basically, all of these filler words are used just because it becomes a habit to English speakers to use them. These words are very useful to emphasize things and, show simplicity, but they're not totally necessary. So native speakers have just started to use them and it becomes a habit. But if you're learning English, don't think that you have to use all of these filler words. It's just great to understand them and understand why native speakers use them so often. Thank you guys so much for watching this English lesson. I'll see you guys in the next English lesson. If you want to learn more with me, visit EnglishWithKayla.com to sign up for my 6-week course. I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye!